Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure to be here with you. My name is Michael Campbell with a company called Lucid Economics, and we do a lot of work in economic development, investment attraction, doing a lot of work in growth areas. And so what I want to talk to you today was, again, about the software, but it's a bit unique for me. Unlike the other two speakers, I don't come from a placemaking background. I went to business school and deal in spreadsheets, and so I got excited on the data, but you didn't have a single graph. It's killing me. I only have one in my presentation. I had to throw something in there. But wanted to get into it. But look, from my perspective, we talk about the placemaking and people and making these things great. At the end of the day, for me, it comes down to a transaction. We want those people to be, the places to be great and the people to be there. It's more foot traffic. So it's more people going back and forth. More people back and forth is going to be more customers in the shop. And even if it's not the transaction, we're building these places to create investment. To induce investment to come in, all of these extra things. So for me, it always, immediately goes into the economic aspect and how that's going to contribute. Because if we're doing it just for that community benefit, particularly because it's all public funds we're talking about, I think we are missing something. So the way I come from is it's about, that transaction, the investment at the end of the day. And so coming more from that business perspective, because we do a lot of work with investors, with proponents, with different businesses around the country, and even in some of your cities. This is a chart. You can't read the language there, unfortunately. It's a survey that's done every year in the States. And they go out and ask 460 CEOs, what are those key site selection criteria that you look for when you're investing in a place? And so it changes the ticks and texts. The first one's availability of skilled labor. The second one's labor costs. The third one's highway accessibility. Those have been the top three for a long time. This is real. It's nuts and bolts stuff. It has nothing to do with place, but they're going there. The math, the foundations, everything has to be right. What has happened in recent years is quality of life is actually now number 6. It used to be number 423. Just didn't even matter. But it's starting to come into the fray now because businesses know if they're going to be able to have access to availability of skilled labor, quality of life in that community is going to be important. Anyone ever heard of a small company called Amazon? They went through a process in the States last year looking for a second headquarters site. And they put it open to anybody everywhere could apply or try to woo them to come. And they set out their criteria. They actually made it a decision factor. As part of the criteria was going to a community that had a similar culture to them. It was about the vibe in that sense. And it was a decision factor. They had to go somewhere that was similar to them. If you look at their business, they're creating 100,000 high-end tech jobs. They can't do that in the backwoods of Iowa because those guys are not going to move there. So they have to be in that community and that supports that culture that creates those sort of places for those kind of people. So again, we're seeing this come through now. It is becoming more and more important for businesses when they make decisions. Out of all those factors you saw here, the 23 or whatever, it all goes to costs and access to utilities and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's about confidence. Decisions, when businesses make a decision on where to invest or where to go, they have confidence in that location. They've done all the nuts and bolts. They've done all the calculations and the foundation work is done, but at the end of the day, they have to have confidence. Be it a big multinational that's based out of New York or London, or be it a small business, owner-operator business. Both situations, they have to have confidence that if they're putting their business or their money in that community, that it's going to work. All right, so this confidence issue becomes a really big part, and that's part of these softer things that you can do to actually create these environments to really help businesses grow, and also to create these vibrant places that we're talking about. This is a snap of Brunswick Street Mall in Brisbane. My wife's from Brisbane, so it's easy for me to go back and latch onto it. When she was growing up, you would never, ever go there at night. It was a scary place. Bad things happened. Over time and through what the city's been able to do, they've gone through there, they've engaged with all the local traders, they've put in stages, little stages down the street to encourage busking. They've put in shade covers because it's flipping hot there sometimes, and no one wants to go outside. So they're building, adapting the environment, and they're doing that together with those businesses, and they've really created a very, very vibrant place. And again, in my mind, those are all customers. They're all spending money out there. And so it's having that flow-on impact that we want for businesses to support job growth and to support the economy to grow. These are some snapshots of the Brisbane Technology Park. It's one of the higher-end business precincts in the country. And you can see a very high level of their built form that they have there. Now, this is 33 hectares of land that's been created. And all those businesses, when you go and talk to them about why are you here, they will tell you it's the access. It has nothing to do with the place. Right? They're situated right between two highways. So getting on and off, 5 minutes to the CBD, the workforce is immediately available in the area. It has nothing to do with place. So it's the nuts and bolts of it. But now they're struggling. You see how many cars are in the area there? Transport's a big issue for them. Parking is a bigger issue. And what the city of Brisbane's doing through their global precinct strategy is going to them as the broader precinct, because RACQ is just down here, and Griffith University is down there a little bit. They're actually working them together now. So the Brisbane Technology Park is engaging with Griffith to bring in some of their people to talk about how the precinct can be more environmentally sustainable. They're working with RACQ on the driverless bus and hoping to get a trial up so they can have some more public transport actually brought into the precinct. So they're starting to learn now that for them, as just a developer, it's more about creating an environment where those businesses can succeed by having a bit more value add than what businesses could get in the CBD or in other precincts. So again, these softer sort of things are becoming very influential in where businesses want to go and how they want to trade. So we think about placemaking for businesses. Both the hard and soft stuff is important. Like I said, we can't have wonderful support structures and environment if we don't have the nuts and bolts right. You know, the math has to add up. They have to be profitable, all the rest of it. The nuts and bolts need to be correct, as I said, and then creating an environment that's conducive to business. And this is, again, the softer things that your councils can control. It's about creating that vibe. It's about making sure your internal processes. You know, we can talk about the planning departments in each one of your jurisdictions, and the planners always get a good kick along the way, so it's not about that. But it's about creating an efficient process, and not just through the planners. You know, you go talk to the businesses in your community, they will gripe about the planners, and we've gotten used to that. But it's about what you do about that and creating a council-wide environment, something where, again, it's about the vibe. You get the momentum and the perception, you know, and all those things growing for you. And then also an environment where you can attract those workers. You think about high-tech companies like Amazon and Apple and all of those sorts of jobs of the future. Those people are not going to work in the backwoods, backside of an industrial precinct. You know, they're going to expect a certain level of community infrastructure, a certain environment that they want to be a part of. And so what can we do to create that environment that's easy for those businesses to attract workers? And at the end of the day, it's about instilling that confidence, because without that confidence, the businesses can't make decisions. And so this is where that softer selling side, you know, particularly from a local government level, we found, it can really be valuable. It can be the difference at the end of the day. And also a customer service ethos. Has anyone bought a car recently? Or a house, or a washing machine, a cup of coffee? Come on, cup of coffee. 3 people have bought a cup of coffee. There we go. You know, the way that you're treated as that consumer matters. You know, if you go to the coffee shop where they're rude to you, you're not going to go back. Imagine a business trying to invest in your patch, and they have a horrible experience with the customer service staff, or the planning department, or the building department. Okay, it makes it hard. You know, so this customer service ethos is really, really important because it also supports that confidence. Because again, that's the thing that matters. An investor or a business, they have to be confident that what they're doing is going to work in your patch. And that strong customer service ethos, working together with businesses as partners, that goes a long way to creating that. So I don't know how I did on time. Well done. There we go. Thank you very much.